Captain on the bridge.
Alright, captains, we are back on the bridge, and today, yes, we continue to go over some of the new information from Star Trek Online's latest drop of their 14th anniversary blog. So on screen. Yes, captains, before we get into this video, do us a huge favor and hit that like button. But also, if you're new here, welcome. Consider subscribing here to our YouTube bridge, where we're always on the lookout for like-minded captains, where we can share our love, our passion for Star Trek Online, but also things Star Trek. Now, with that said, here we go. I thought that Galaxy intro was quite fitting, especially with all that information. So, captains, in our recent video that we just dropped, actually we're going to release this also today, probably sometime in the evening, but we thought it'd be quite fun to go over the ships that we may possibly and probably will see actually in the new announcement of the TFO. So again, we went over this blog here in our recent video, so we'll go there quickly. And what I wanted to concentrate on was this right here, the new Task Force Operation Battle of Wolf 359. Now, I've said this for years. I've been wanting this historical battle, this recreation battle here in Star Trek Online, and we're finally going to get it. Now, we all are familiar with this actual battle. It is one of my personal favorite battles of Star Trek The Next Generation. Now, there is a video out there. We're not going to actually play it, but we'll play a couple snippets here and there. So we'll see, because some of the ships that we've seen here, which we can see is like a Miranda class, an Excelsior, an Ambassador, but there's also some other unique ships that we don't get to see really fleshed out. Now, of course, here we see a Miranda class, and it's a different configuration. It has like kind of the side cannons or lasers there, but also you see that Excelsior class there as well. Because of its age, and back then they couldn't really flesh out this battle, but man, I would love to see an official remaster of Wolf 359 from Star Trek. I just want to see all those ships that they actually say that was here, but we don't really get to see in action. We get to see the aftermath, and they're hazy at best, but there's a list out there and many sort of configurations, but we'll go over that in a little bit here. But we see there an Excelsior getting destroyed there, and of course the Miranda trying to do its best. But this particular Miranda had, of course, Benjamin Sisko on there, and when I saw the kind of the playback of this, and of course from DS9, and how he lost his wife there, it's pretty tragic seeing that. But again, we get some of that story. That's what what I wanted was also Star Trek to do like shorts of the ships of Wolf 359 leading up to the battle, and kind of like the same idea I've had with First Contact, just to bring more attention to the ships that were actually involved in these battles. It didn't have to be a whole series, no, just one quick episode, or however long you want to make it, 20, half hour, 40 minutes, but just to give a little background and then kind of sort of attach us more to the actual battles themselves. But in this scene here, we see, of course, the Nebula and an Ambassador. Look how quick they turn. And you can actually, funny enough, you can actually get these ships to turn like that in Star Trek Online with the right equipment. Even evasive maneuvers will make a move like that. But you see the Ambassador, of course, the Nebula class doing their best there against Zeeberg, and just of course firing phasers. Nothing really too, again, they're restricted with, of course, what they can do back then. And of course we actually see the Miranda class here get sort of destroyed here, unfortunately. Kind of sad, but again, it was part of it, so they of course have to. Now I'm gonna probably go into more of this in my kind of close near the end of this video, because I have some predictions of how they're going to implement this, but probably captains already have the same thought process. So anyways, we do see that, and kind of the last things we see here, of course, we do actually see the aftermath, but we see this, of course, the actual destruction of Sisko's ship there. So I hope we kind of get to sort of see this also fleshed out in that TFO via cutscene, however they want to do it. But of course we see that, and it would be, could you imagine, again, we'll go over that a little bit, but I'm getting excited about this TFO. Now, I did mention in the video that we did initially this morning that I hope we get to see the actual Enterprise D make an appearance at the end. However they do it, even if it's sort of a communication saying the Enterprise is on the way or something like that, that would be great callback to this episode. But what we wanted to go over here in this battle was the ships that they actually saw there at the very end when they came in there and put on screen. Of course, we see all these damaged ships here. Again, you do see the outlines, but you don't really get to see them. And they were just picked apart over the years, of course, when we get, people making videos on these and then kind of breaking them, and also some of the official ships. So there is that. I'm going to link this actual video here, and of course this is actually from Guardian Images, so we'll link this particular video because we used it here, so credit to him to putting this up. But then again, this is from Star Trek The Next Generation. Now again, it says here it's a new 5-player space task force operation where it says you relive the greatest battle against the Borg at Wolf 359. Return to one of Star Trek's most classic moments and make your own fate. Learn from the past to defend the present. Now, we've already have a couple of historic simulation battles here in Star Trek Online, so I think we're going to take some cues from there. But in this part of the video, I wanted to go over the ships that we see there in Wolf 359 that we may see here in Star Trek Online make its first time appearance. Now, we just went over to Memory Alpha here and went over down to, and again, we'll just link all this stuff below here, especially this link, Memory Alpha. We wanted to go over the ships that we possibly will B and or C. Now, when I say B, in Discovery, when we had Discovery drop in Star Trek Online, we had this feature TFO, the Battle at the Binary Stars. Now, they of course try to make this a huge deal here, and you can see here from this Google initial search here, the Battle at the Binary Stars is one of the most important historic battles between the Federation and the Klingon Empire. And of course we got that TFO. So what my thoughts is they'll probably make that TFO Wolf 359 kind of similar to this, because when you get into this TFO, you are not actually seeing your own ship. You are one of the ships present on the Federation side here in this particular TFO, the Battle at the Binary Star. So they may just do that and make our ships be a holographic simulation. Not sure how I feel about that. It would be nice if we can get our ships there, and then they'll say that we're the USS whatever, but I get it. Now, it'd be great if they can give us an option, possibly to toggle that on and off, but again, we'll see how that happens. I feel that when we do get more information on this, it'll be similar to this in the final fleshed out product, but we'll get more on that as we finish that off. So again, some of these ships we don't have in Star Trek Online, so we're gonna see they are. So the first classes here that that this list here is a Cheyenne class. Now, we do already have the Cheyenne class here in Star Trek Online, which is again an additional skin of the Constellation. So that's already there. We have a couple already ships there fleshed out, and this has been recently remastered, of course, probably because of this upcoming Wolf 359 battle. So that's awesome. Nebula class, we all know the Nebula class. We have that there as well. Now they named 2, so we're gonna go over that when we get over there, but we have the Oberth. We all know the Oberth class. It is the Oberth class. And the Challenger. Now this is where we get into some really funky looking designs here. So this is the Challenger class, and it literally is a sort of TNG styled saucer with an elongated secondary hull and Galaxy class nacelles. Now again, back in the day, all they did was just kit bash ships, but I want to see if they're going to actually give us these ships. Personally, would I fly this? No. But I could see them probably releasing a bundle with these ships. Possibly, I don't know where they would class this ship, or if they would just mix it with a Galaxy class. I don't know. It wouldn't be something that I would fly, but it would be nice to just have in game, and not just as a hologram or a ship that is destroyed somewhere in the background. It'd be just nice to have them. Again, it's a very funky looking ship here. You can see the configuration. It's very simple, just a saucer of, like, again, looks like a scaled down Galaxy class, elongated secondary hull, two very, very long pylons, and then of course the warp nacelles there. So we're gonna have to see how that is. But again, our birth class, we all know what that looks like. So that's gonna be there. And then of course the Challenger. Now the Springfield class is quite an interesting looking, it almost reminds me of the New Orleans, but they have this very different configuration. And this is like kind of the best picture. You see again a Galaxy class style sort of saucer, and then with nacelles, but these Cheyenne type nacelles, and then the secondary hull is just hung by these pylons here. So again, they could just make these ships just as holographic representations and not even give us these ships. But again, it would be nice if they would. Just again, there may be some captains who want to fly these. I personally probably won't. It looks quite funky. We'll see. I mean, I never say never, but again, this looks pretty cool here with like a photon torpedo type launcher system here that they got going on this. So that looks pretty cool there. So again, Springfield. Now, of course, the Constellation class, we all know what that is. The Constellation class is the Stargazer here, the USS Stargazer. Of course, the Ford Nacelle, one of my favorite ships as well from TNG that we saw. That again, we are very familiar with that ship. The Freedom class. This is again just another sort of very weird looking ship, but it is what it is. And there's some different configurations. I'm not sure which one we'll actually see. But again, it is just a, and then of course, some of these, of course, they were eagle moss there, but you can see here, it is a saucer with a long, looks like almost a Connie looking neck and just a nacelle. Now, the one that we saw there earlier had a configuration that had some cannons coming out there, and who knows, but you see a photon torpedo launcher and some sort of fin there. But the weird looking ship, again, I really think that they're gonna just make it a holographic ship that we're gonna be able to use. But as you can see here, there's a phaser cannon, there's the actual nacelle, and then photon torpedo launchers, and that I believe is the deflector there. So pretty cute, small looking little deflector there. Now the New Orleans class, we all know of this. The New Orleans class is, of course, a ship that we already have in Star Trek Online. So this was a surprise to me when they actually released the ship. I didn't think that we'd get this, but now again, could they release some sort of bundle, maybe a legend, I don't say a legendary bundle, but a bundle featuring these ships where they're all probably like the same, or maybe one class ship, and that you can just use different skins? I don't know how that would work, and if that's something we would get. Not 100% sure. That of course will depend, but this of course is also like a mini Galaxy class. As you can see there, they use the same type of deflector that they did on the Galaxy class there. And of course, there's another ship here that's unknown, presumably destroyed. We don't know. That could be the ship there. We could see or feature. Who knows? Now, the Excelsior class, of course, we're all familiar with this ship. Staple ship of Star Trek. Ship's been in service for years, and yes, it was here, and we saw it in that clip briefly there. The Niagara class. This is a ship. This is the ship that was there. It is an ambassador style ship with different pylons and the nacelles from a Galaxy class. So there's a little image of it there, but also you get to see how close the nacelles are here, but the actual pylons themselves are kind of angled a little bit twice over, but it is the body of the ambassador. And again, all they did was just take what they had and just kit bash it all together. So again, not a ship that I'd buy. We have the ambassador class, so we'll stick to the ambassador class, but this is the ship that we may be able to fly, at the very least in that new TFO. We also, the Miranda class, we are all familiar with this. We're going to get that maybe a new Miranda class that has those side cannons. We already have that, I think, with the Bozeman type. I believe the fleet ship there that has that also as well, the Soyuz, I should say. But we're, again, Miranda, there's a bunch of Mirandas. And now, of course, we saw that Ambassador class, again, one of my favorite ships, definitely from TNG. The look of it is, it's just gorgeous. I love the look of the Ambassador. So if I can, it would be nice if maybe at the beginning of the TFO we can pick what ship we want to go into. That would be probably one of my picks. There would be the Ambassador class. We have the Constitution 2 here, the refit. Yes, they use a ship. Why not? They probably have these ships there just in mothballs, and of course they were just scrambling, of course, to get any ship that they can get out. But it's great to see this ship, and hopefully we can pick this as a ship. I don't want it to be kind of a random. Maybe I'll go with that idea that I want to be able to pick the ship that I am going to be in that TFO. And would this be one of them? Definitely, because this is my second favorite ship in Star Trek, because this was the second ship that I saw after the Galaxy class. So there is that. Now, they named 2 different Nebula classes here. So of course, again, you're all familiar with the Nebula class ship, which is again like a mini battle pancake, as I call it, also from the Galaxy class. But we might actually see this here, this particular one here that was there, which is a 4 nacelle design Nebula class. So with the nacelles there, the normal configuration there, but also these 2 miniature nacelles. Again, they were just probably, you know, going with whatever they could put together here. But you can also see in this particular Google search page here the ships from the actual Wolf 359 that someone either recreated or and there are also Eagle Moss models, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, and here they are. So that is something that we may be able to experience as just in the TFO. But that Nebula class, man, that is that's a new one there, definitely. So that is all what they listed here, but they do say that there's 22 additional starships destroyed and 1 survivor. So again, you know how we probably will come in there guns a-blazing, and you know, probably the whole thing is we're just waiting, right, for the Enterprise to make it. Of course, we don't make it. So I want to see how they kind of handle that. I would love to see voice clips, because going back to the battle at the Binary Stars, what they did was actually have the voice overs, or voice clips, I should say, from the actual show. So I would love to hear Benjamin Sisko, dare I say Picard, Riker, Shelby, even just either at the end of the TFO, during the TFO. It would be nice to see and hear them. See, of course, but even just to hear them, that would be good. And again, like at the end there, have the Galaxy class go through the actual rubble itself and have that recreated, that moment recreated when the Enterprise enters the wreckage scene there from the Battle of Wolf 359. I think that would be an epic thing that they could do, and we'll have to see. But I thought it would be fun to just kind of go over this. And again, I think they are going to have us go in this TFO and then have us use holographic representations of these ships that we just went over here, and maybe some surprises. I know that there are some weird Excelsior designs there, but I didn't want to go through all of that. But just my initial thoughts, especially just going over that video we just recently posted as the posting of this video. So again, super excited that we're finally going to get the Battle of Wolf 359 here in Star Trek Online, and I really hope we still get First Contact. That would be an epic battle simulation to have here in Star Trek Online. But captains, let me know what you think in the description below, how Wolf 359 is going to go, maybe how it's going to work. Obviously, we're going to be against 1 Borg cube, and I hope this Borg cube is massive and just big. Now, scaling wise, I think the Borg cube that we saw there in the clip there is pretty close to what we have in Star Trek Online, but maybe implement those features that we saw in the last featured episode, where when we fight that Borg, we're just trying to slow it down, right? Maybe there's that sort of tracking system that we have to slow it down, and that the fail features would be if it got to the end of or it reaches a certain distance in the TFO or time frame that we haven't slowed it down or haven't damaged it enough. Something I'd like to see that, because we're not going to destroy the Borg cube. right? We're not going to destroy it. So the best thing we do is actually slow it down. Now, another thing that would be pretty cool, simulation wise, I don't think it would happen, but I think it thought it was cool as a thought of this video is, let's say we are the Miranda ship there, and from that perspective, the ship quote unquote gets destroyed, or we get destroyed. We come back as another ship in that battle. That would be just adding a layer of just mwah to it, I think. But we won't actually see or know the details until we actually do the TFO. They may do a separate blog of this, and of course, if they do, captains, you know we're gonna cover it as best as we can, and of course drop the 2 ECs. But yeah, I would love to know what you cap think of how they're gonna flesh this battle of Wolf 359 out here in Star Trek Online. But again, my feeling is it's gonna be pretty close to what they did at Battle of Binary Stars. I hope I'm wrong, but again, how they would go about it, not sure. And I hope we get to see the Enterprise, and even just voice clips of Captain Picard, Riker, or whoever would be great. Well, I guess Locutus at this point, but at this point of the battle. But even if we heard Riker, Shelby kind of there, that would be great. Also, do us a favor, hit that like button, and of course, subscribe here to our YouTube bridge. And again, as soon as we get more information on this Wolf 359 and anything else, we will make sure to cover it here on the channel. Captains, until the next video, we will leave it on this note.
Live long and prosper.